You can learn all the kicks, punches, or safety tactics in the world, but if your mind is working against you,
Fine, attacks can be sporadic. I'm like a drunken master without the drink spazzing. Jackie Chan on these punks who wanna rob. I'm turning supermarkets into scenes from Rumble in the Bronx. Throwing punches in bunches, every one of them landing. Accuracy's 100, I smash 'em with one punch, man.
Parents, have you ever felt like your own mind is holding you back from being the protector your family needs? Imagine the biggest threat to your family's safety isn't an outside danger, but your own self-doubt and fear. It sounds ironic, but we often become our own worst enemy when it comes to achieving our goals. This quiet inner enemy is called self-sabotage, and it can keep us stuck when we most want to move forward. The good news is, once you shine a light on it, you can defeat it. In this video, we'll cover what self-sabotage is and why we do it, understanding the inner barriers and triggers that hold us back, how self-sabotage sneaks into parenting and protection, recognizing ways we might undermine our own family's safety without realizing it, how to overcome self-sabotage through discipline, faith, and training, a game plan to break these patterns and become the strong protector your family deserves. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of this hidden foe and practical steps to take your power back. So stick around. Hello, my name is Daryl Dixon Jr. I'm a lifelong martial artist, a dedicated father, and a person of faith. I hold a first-degree black belt in Taekwondo and have spent over a decade teaching self-defense to families. More importantly, I'm a parent who understands the instinct to protect our loved ones. Through my faith, I've learnt the values of discipline, courage, and love, and I integrate those values into every real-life self-defense situation I train for. I started this channel to educate, empower, and equip families to stay safe in all environments of life. I believe that protecting our family isn't just about physical moves. It's about mindset and heart. Today, I want to share that perspective with you. Our topic today is self-sabotage, specifically how it affects us as parents and protectors. You might wonder, what does psychology have to do with self-defense? In my experience, everything. You can learn all the kicks, punches, or safety tactics in the world, but if your mind is working against you, it's hard to act on that knowledge. Think about it. Have you ever hesitated in a moment of decision? Maybe a split second of doubt when your child needed you to act confidently? That hesitation could be a form of self-sabotage, fear creeping in and freezing you. On this channel, we always say, preparation is protection. That includes preparing internally, not just externally. By understanding self-sabotage, we remove an internal roadblock so we can fully step into our role as leaders and guardians for our kids. All right, let's dive into the first main point. 1. Understanding self-sabotage and its triggers. Self-sabotage is when your own actions undermine your goals, sometimes without you even realizing it. It's like trying to drive with the parking brake on. You want to move forward, but something inside is creating resistance. Psychologists define self-sabotage as behaviors, conscious or unconscious, that create obstacles to our long-term well-being and success. What makes it tricky is that many people aren't fully aware they're doing it. We might keep repeating unhealthy patterns, procrastinating, making excuses, quitting early, and wonder why we never reach our goals. So why do we do this to ourselves? Often, self-sabotage comes from our subconscious fears or negative beliefs. Deep down, we might fear failure or even fear success and the change it brings. We might struggle with self-doubt or low self-worth. In fact, one psychological guide notes that self-sabotage is usually driven by deep-seated fears, like fear of failure or rejection, and beliefs like, "I'm not good enough." It sounds counterintuitive, but our brain thinks it's protecting us by avoiding those scary outcomes. For example, if you fear rejection, you might avoid opportunities, sabotaging yourself to prevent ever being rejected, thus feeling safe, but at the cost of growth. Common self-sabotaging behaviors include things like procrastination, perfectionism, and negative self-talk. Let's look at a few. Procrastination. Putting off important tasks because they're uncomfortable or because you fear failing at them. This is classic self-sabotage. Avoiding action leads to missed opportunities and regret. Ever said, "I'll start exercising next week," and next week never comes? Negative self-talk. That inner critic that says, "I'm too weak, I can't do this." Constant self-criticism undermines your confidence and can stop you from even trying. Perfectionism. Setting unrealistically high standards and then giving up or stressing out when they aren't met. It's an excuse to not start or finish something unless it's perfect, which hinders progress. Relationship sabotage. Pushing away help or creating conflict with loved ones because you're afraid of vulnerability or failure. For instance, rejecting your spouse's input on a safety plan out of pride or fear. This can strain relationships and leave you isolated when you need support. Avoiding self-care. Neglecting your health, sleep, or well-being because you don't have time or feel you must always put others first. Ironically, by running yourself ragged, you're sabotaging your ability to stay strong for your family. Do any of these behaviors sound familiar? If so, don't beat yourself up. We all experience them in some form. I've seen it in my martial arts students and in myself. For example, I once had a student, a dad in his 40s, who kept skipping classes whenever a belt test approached. On the surface, it was because of work, or he felt unprepared, but in reality, he feared failing. His fear led him to procrastinate and avoid the test, a textbook case of self-sabotage. To outsiders, it was obvious he was ready for the next level, but his subconscious fear was holding him back. The key takeaway is this: self-sabotage is usually a misguided form of self-protection. Your brain thinks it's keeping you safe from pain, whether it's the pain of failure, embarrassment, or uncertainty, by avoiding the challenge. But in doing so, it's keeping you from your God-given potential and from your goals, like being the best protector for your family. Recognizing this pattern is the first step. When you name the fear, for example, "I'm afraid I'll fail at getting in shape," you take away some of its power. You start to see that this protection is actually holding you back, not keeping you safe. Before we move on, remember, you are not alone in this struggle. Even heroes in movies feel fear and doubt before they rise. The difference is, they face it. As a person of faith, I remind myself that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and self-discipline. In other words, you can overcome these mental roadblocks. Now that we understand what self-sabotage is and why it happens, let's see how it might be affecting you as a parent and protector. 2. How self-sabotage shows up in parenting and protection mindsets. It's one thing to sabotage yourself in a job or personal goal, but how does it play out in family life and safety? As parents, we all deeply care about our children. Yet self-sabotage can sneak into our parenting and protection habits in surprising ways. Here are some common scenarios to watch for. I'll get to it later. Parental procrastination. You know that family emergency plan you've been meaning to create? Or the self-defense class you thought of joining with your spouse? If you keep delaying it, "I'll do it next week when I'm less busy," that's procrastination stemming from discomfort or fear. Maybe the task feels overwhelming or you're afraid of doing it wrong, so you put it off, but later never comes. This kind of delay is a self-sabotage that leaves your family less prepared. Real-life example: I spoke with a mother who admitted she had a pamphlet on home fire safety for months without ever sitting the family down to go over it. She realized she avoided it because the topic scared her. By avoiding the fear, she also avoided protecting her kids from that very real risk. Hesitating in critical moments, doubt and second-guessing. Picture this. Your child is climbing on a high play structure. You sense something could go wrong, but you hesitate to speak up or intervene because a little voice says, "Don't be overprotective," or "What if I embarrass them?" That split-second hesitation can be dangerous. This is self-sabotage in real time. Your own self-doubt causing you to freeze or second-guess when your family needs you to be decisive. In self-defense, we teach trust your instincts. Hesitation can mean the difference between safety and harm. As a parent, trust yourself to take action when needed. Don't let the fear of "what will others think" sabotage your child's safety. Avoiding tough conversations. Many parents find it uncomfortable to discuss scary but necessary topics like bullying, predators, or even family boundaries. You might think, "I don't want to frighten my kids," or "we'll talk about it when they're older." While the intent is to protect their innocence, avoiding these conversations can sabotage their preparedness. It's often our own fear of saying the wrong thing or facing an unpleasant subject that holds us back. By avoiding the conversation, we inadvertently leave our children unarmed with knowledge. Remember, age-appropriate discussion is better than silence. Don't let your fear of discomfort stop you from teaching your kids how to stay safe. The superparent martyr syndrome. Do you put everyone's needs before your own, to the point of exhaustion? Many of us do this out of love. We sacrifice for our family. But if you never take time to rest, exercise, or recharge, you're actually sabotaging yourself and your family. Running on fumes makes you more likely to get sick, be irritable, or miss important cues. Neglecting self-care is a form of self-sabotage that heightens stress and burnout. Think about the airplane oxygen mask rule. Put on your own mask first before helping others. In the context of family protection, self-care is not selfish, it's essential. A healthier, stronger you is a better protector. So if you've been postponing that doctor's checkup, skipping workouts, or sleeping only 4 hours a night, ask yourself if deep down you feel you don't deserve the care, or if you're afraid to take time for yourself. Challenge that thinking. Your family needs you at 100%. Overprotectiveness and control. This one might surprise you. Being overly protective or controlling can also be a self-sabotage pattern in parenting. If your actions are driven by constant fear, for example, never letting your child try any activity alone, or not trusting anyone to help you, you may actually be responding to your own anxiety. That fear-based control can sabotage your child's ability to learn independence and resilience. It can strain your relationship with them because they feel suffocated. In a way, your fear of something bad happening leads you to undermine the good development that should be happening. The balance is key. Protect, but don't smother. Ensure your protective measures are based on wisdom and training, not just fear. I've personally encountered some of these tendencies. Early on as a father, I avoided letting my kids out of my sight at the playground. I thought I was keeping them safe, but I realized I was also feeding my own fear and not letting them build confidence. I had to check myself and incorporate what I knew from martial arts, controlled risk, and gradual exposure. I started teaching them how to fall safely, how to call for help, and then gave them a bit more slack. I was still watchful, but I wasn't paralyzed by my worry. This helped them become more confident, and it helped me not sabotage their growth with my anxiety. The big point here is that self-sabotage can creep into how we parent and protect. It often wears a disguise. I'm too busy. This is not the right time. I'm just being careful. I'm doing everything for them. But when you peel it back, fear or insecurity is pulling the strings. Recognizing these patterns in yourself is incredibly empowering. Why? Because if you are the one sabotaging, then you also have the power to stop. That means the situation is changeable. It's not fate or an external enemy. It's an internal challenge you can overcome with the right approach. And that brings us to the most important part. How do we overcome self-sabotage? We know what it is. We see how it shows up. And maybe you're recognizing some of these behaviors in your own life. Now let's talk about breaking those chains. 3. Overcoming self-sabotage. Discipline, faith, and training. How do we defeat self-sabotage and step fully into our role as protectors and parents? It comes down to 3 powerful tools: discipline, faith, and training. These are the pillars that will help you push past internal barriers and forge new, positive habits. Let's break them down. Discipline. Build positive habits to replace fear. Self-sabotage often makes us inconsistent. We start and stop or avoid the work. Discipline is the antidote. It means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Start small and steady. Commit to a simple daily or weekly action that moves you toward your goal of protecting your family. For example, set aside 10 minutes each day to practice a self-defense move or to review an emergency drill with your kids. By consistently reinforcing these small successes, you'll begin to replace self-sabotaging habits with positive ones. Each time you follow through, no matter how small the task, you build self-trust. In martial arts, we say, a black belt is a white belt who never quit. It's discipline, showing up, practicing basics, one step at a time, that gets you to mastery. So treat your family safety journey the same way. Keep showing up. Over time, your discipline will outweigh the doubts. Remember, discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Miss a day, restart the next day. Feel afraid? Do it with fear. This consistency will rewire those patterns in your brain and prove to yourself that you are in control, not your fears. Faith. Draw strength from a higher purpose. When I say faith, I mean both faith in yourself and, if you're spiritually inclined, faith in God or your higher power. Self-sabotage feeds on feelings of helplessness and doubt. Faith is the opposite. It's a source of hope, identity, and purpose. From a psychological angle, having a strong sense of purpose and values helps us push through challenges. Remind yourself why you're doing this. For many of us, it's because my family is my gift from God and I am entrusted to care for them. When you reconnect with your deepest values and beliefs, it empowers you to swap those sabotaging behaviors for meaningful actions. On a practical level, prayer and meditation can be extremely helpful. These practices are like a spiritual form of mindfulness. They calm your mind and reduce stress, which makes you less likely to default to self-sabotage in a crisis. For example, starting your day with a quick prayer or positive affirmation, "I can do all things through Him who strengthens me," can set a resilient tone for your mind. Faith also reminds us that we're not alone. You can lean on God, and you can lean on a community of like-minded people, church, friends, fellow parents, for support. When negative thoughts creep in, "I'll never be strong enough," "It's hopeless," counter them with faith-filled truths. "I am strong, I am called to protect my family, and I am not given a spirit of fear, but of power and love." With faith, you carry the quiet confidence that there's a bigger power backing you up. That confidence leaves less room for self-sabotage to take hold. Training. Prepare and act to build confidence. Finally, there's no substitute for practical training. If discipline is the plan and faith is the motivation, training is the action. You have to face your fears in real life, in a safe, controlled way, to truly conquer them. In psychology, they call this exposure therapy, gradually facing the thing you fear until it loses its power over you. In martial arts and self-defense, this is built in. We practice scenarios, we spar. We put ourselves under a bit of stress in training so that when a real situation comes, we don't freeze. Training doesn't just teach you skills, it conditions your mind and body. The more you train, the more you'll find that your reactions become automatic and confident, not hesitant. For example, if you've practiced what to do in a home invasion scenario, you will be far less likely to panic or sabotage your own response if, God forbid, something happens. You'll have a plan to fall back on. Training can start small, maybe a weekend family activity of learning basic first aid or taking your kids to a martial arts class. Make it fun and consistent. Over time, you'll notice you stand a little taller. That's earned confidence. Additionally, training with others, like joining a family self-defense program, provides accountability and support. You'll realize other parents have the same fears and hurdles, and you can overcome them together. When you commit to training, you send a powerful message to yourself. My family's safety is worth the effort, and I am capable of learning and improving. Each new skill you learn punches a hole through self-doubt. Each practice session where you push past discomfort expands your comfort zone. As your skills grow, the voice of self-sabotage gets quieter because factually you know you're more prepared than before. When you combine discipline, faith, and training, you create a solid foundation. Think of it like strengthening mind, spirit, and body. All three. Discipline builds new mental habits, faith fuels your spirit and motivation, and training hones your physical and practical abilities. Together, they make you resilient. Will self-sabotage attempts completely disappear overnight? Probably not. But now, instead of a vicious cycle holding you back, you'll have a virtuous cycle propelling you forward. You'll catch yourself when negative patterns start, lean on your faith or values to stay motivated, and use your disciplined routines and training to keep moving despite fear. Over time, those old self-sabotaging voices will fade and lose their grip on you. I've watched timid beginners transform into confident black belts by following these principles. I've seen anxious, unsure parents become strong, decisive leaders for their families when they embrace consistency, lean into faith, and put in the training. You can do this too. It's not magic, it's mindset plus action, and you are absolutely capable of it. Conclusion: empower your family. Starting now, let's recap what we've covered. First, we learned that self-sabotage is the act of undermining our own goals, often driven by hidden fears and doubts. Second, we saw how these self-defeating patterns can creep into our parenting and protection mindset, whether it's procrastinating on safety plans, second-guessing ourselves in critical moments, or running ourselves ragged and unprepared. These behaviors feel like they protect us from fear, but in reality, they hold our families back. Finally, we outlined how to overcome self-sabotage using discipline, faith, and training. By building steady habits, drawing on our deepest values and God-given strength, and taking real action to build skills and confidence. Why does all this matter? Because protecting and strengthening your family is one of the greatest purposes you have. As a parent, you are the first line of defense for your children, not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. When you conquer self-sabotage, you're not just winning a battle in your own mind. You're breaking a chain that could have held your whole family back. You're modeling courage and growth for your kids. You're creating a home where confidence triumphs over fear. This is about becoming the leader and protector your family needs and that you were meant to be. I want to leave you with a clear call to action. Knowledge without action won't create change. So here are 3 concrete steps you can take right away to start implementing what we talked about. Join a self-defense program. Don't wait for the perfect time. Take that step now. Enroll yourself and even your spouse or kids in a local self-defense or martial arts class. This will kickstart your training and keep you accountable. Training in a structured program ensures you practice regularly, building discipline, and face challenges in a safe environment. Plus, you'll meet a community of supportive people on the same journey. If you prefer online or at-home training, that works too. The key is to start. Put it on the calendar and show up. Start a family protection plan. Schedule a family meeting to create or review your safety plans. This could include a fire escape plan, a plan for stranger danger, or even simply establishing a monthly safety drill game with the kids. Make it a family project. Involve your children in problem solving. What should we do if? This not only prepares everyone, but it also breaks any lingering procrastination or discomfort you had about tackling these topics. By taking the lead here, you're proving to yourself that you can proactively protect your household. Write down the plan and practice it. Action beats anxiety every time. Begin a daily spiritual or mindset discipline. Strengthen that inner warrior. This could be morning prayer, reading an encouraging scripture or quote each day, meditation, journaling, or a gratitude practice with your family each night. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day can center your mind and remind you of your purpose. For example, start your day by affirming, I am courageous, I am disciplined, and I am guided by love for my family. Or end the day in prayer with your kids, thanking God for His protection and asking for strength and wisdom. This consistent spiritual discipline will fortify your faith and mental resilience. It's like training your mind and soul to stay focused and fearless. You've got this. Overcoming self-sabotage is absolutely within your reach. Imagine yourself a few months from now, more confident, more prepared, with a family that's safer and stronger because you decided to break through your internal barriers. No more foot on the brake. You are moving forward with purpose. In the martial arts, we bow at the end of class as a sign of respect and commitment to keep learning. So I bow to you, to your commitment to grow and protect your family. Remember, the only thing standing between you and the protector you aspire to be is that inner voice. And now you have the tools to control it, rather than let it control you. Your family is counting on you, and you are fully capable of rising to the challenge. So stand tall, put on the full armor of faith and knowledge you've gained, and step forward. Defeat that inner saboteur and become the guardian your children need. Thank you for watching and walking with me on this journey. Now go out there and fight for your family's future. You are stronger than you know, and you are not alone in this fight.
Fine, attacks can be sporadic. I'm like a drunken master without the drink spazzing. Jackie Chan on these punks who wanna rob. I'm turning supermarkets into scenes from Rumble in the Bronx. Throwing punches in bunches, every one of them landing. Accuracy's 100. I smash it with one punch.